Do you ever get overwhelmed by modern society with productivity tracking, constant optimization, and the feeling of being measured rather than valued? Well, you're not alone, and that's something that Charlie Chaplin understood in 1936. He made a movie about it. That's today's movie. It's Modern Times. Let's get into it. So today's movie is Modern Times, Charlie Chaplin's 1936 masterpiece, satirizing the sort of industrial world after the Great Depression in America. And as I was watching it, there are two things that really struck me in this film. The first thing is how powerful the physical comedy is, not only being funny, but also supporting this really serious social critique. I mean, if you think of the factory scene in the beginning, the tramp who is working at this factory is sort of loses control of his body or his autonomy and himself, and has this nervous breakdown where he's just constantly, doing the gears, even though he's not even working on the line. He's lost control, and until the point where he turns on the machine of the factory and his fellow factory workers until he gets swallowed in by the machinery, essentially showing that he's losing himself to the industrialization all around him. On the other side of that great critique, and I love the way that, he uses comedy to make such a serious point, because, you're laughing and you're sitting there and your defenses are down. You think this is just such a funny story. But then when you peel back one layer, you sort of see how prescient the message is. And that brings me to my second point, which how this isn't necessarily a film just about 1936, but is also a film that can be about our own society today. Sure, it might not be the same world built on gears and factories, but, replace that with algorithms and productivity tools and things like that. A lot of the things that the tramp is going through here can be pretty quickly updated to 2026. My favorite part of the film, there's a sequence after he loses his job in the factory, after he participates in a workers' strike. He's taken in as the leader and is in jail. And the funniest thing in that part, I think, for me, is that he seems much happier in jail than he is outside. And so much so that when he eventually does get out of jail due to some classic tramp mishaps, he spends pretty much the rest of the film trying to get back into jail, where life was much simpler, and he, could follow a regiment that he could feel, good about. Also, to think a movie that was made 90 years ago, so relevant today, highly recommend checking out this classic. It's not considered a masterpiece for nothing. So that's Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times. I'll see you for the next one.